Hey, this is Johnny Beane, and we are live. It's 11:06 a.m. out here in Santa Cruz, and so that's what 11, 12, 1, 2:06 p.m. Eastern Time. And I'm here on April 5th, 2020, with Rob Johnson and Barney. Hey,
Hey, what's up?
man, what's nice outfit?
Yeah, striping it up today. Striping it up. I made this mask to protect me from everything out there, but now the problem is I'm dying of paint fumes. So
Wait, was that a joke?
it's supposed to be, yeah. It's supposed to
Okay,
be good. But there's no
okay.
striped mask I made. I actually made that this morning, believe it or not.
Oh, look at that, man.
Took me
That's
about
like
20
that
minutes.
that like that meme that's going around, right?
I know, right?
Right? Yeah.
How you doing, man?
Dude, busy, 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 man.
Oh, I know. I hear you.
Man, did Saturday Night Live last night with John BL, Neanderthal, Caleb
Oh, I saw that.
jumped in.
Very cool.
That was 3 hours. We're doing the show, right now, and then I'm doing another show right after this with the local a local singer-songwriter from Santa Cruz here.
Ooh, very cool.
So it's going to be very cool. Yeah, it's a band. I actually played. I did a gig opening for this band some months back,
Yeah.
and they're going to be here on the channel. It's going to be great. It's going to
Ah,
be great. It's going to be great. His name's Frank Barter.
cool.
So anyway, so let's get into this. So what are we talking about? We're talking about the Van Halen guitars from the 1980 tour. Is it?
I had um I had a bunch of people ask me on my channel on Rob's EVH Guitars Fitness FATV. I had a bunch
Long domain, man.
yeah, long domain. Actually, I got to do some more fitness stuff too. I've been getting a whole bunch of stuff. People want to see some martial arts stuff and some more core stuff. And now that the weather's getting nice and we can start going outside, still practicing social distancing, of course.
Sort of.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but still go outside. And even if you can't, there's certainly a lot of fitness things that you can do in your house to, you know, to stay fit with the nice weather coming. So, anyways, I will be doing some of those. But
Cool.
Johnny and I did a couple of shows, the two of us, over the course of the last couple of weeks. We've done two or three, and we kind of started talking about obviously Van Halen guitars, kind of geeking out on that stuff a little bit. But
Yeah.
I've been meaning to do a show because people keep asking me about it on the Women and Children First guitars, the tour guitars. Basically, they're the
Mm-hmm.
ones that we know that Eddie played back in the 1980 Invasion tour. And I've been
Mm-hmm.
meaning to do it, and then moving into this new place and setting up my guitar room and all that. I really hadn't had the time to do it. So Johnny and I were talking the other night, and we're like, why don't we just do a special show? So that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the guitars that Eddie played on the Women and Children First tour, the Invasion tour. And Steve Anderson just says the 1980 Invasion tour started here in Victoria, British Columbia. Wow, that's awesome.
No way.
Very cool.
That's cool. Hey, Steve. Good morning, man.
What's up, Steve?
That's awesome.
That is cool. I never got to see him live in that tour. I wished I had. I was only, let's see, how old was I in 1980? I was only 7 years old in 1980.
Wow.
I didn't even know who Van Halen was yet.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I didn't get in Van Halen until 84, 85.
I think I was still into like the Incredible Hulk or something like that.
I was scared of that show, man. Incredible Hulk. I was scared of that.
What,
But I still wanted to watch it.
the Lou Ferrigno one or the
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Hef.
What's up, Hef? Hef, what did you I turned my phone off a minute ago. You asked me a question a minute ago. You messaged me. What is it? I'll just address it now. Whatever it was.
I don't know.
Hef, actually, real quick, Hef and I have been kind of going back and forth. I've been working the last few days, but I have today off, which is kind of cool. And Hef actually asked me about tweaking his rig to sound more kind of like balanced. So he sent me a couple clips, and him and I went kind of back and forth. And between the two of us, we kind of dialed it in. And I mean, it's hard to tell over a clip. but what he's got going now is actually is pretty awesome. So it sounds good. So keep it up. SD Design.
Nice.
Joe Hervey says, Rob, say my name, please, buddy. Joe Hervey, 84.
Joe. Oh, yeah.
What's going on?
Let's do a quick roll call. And also, really quickly, man, these shows are getting faster and faster, man.
I know.
Subscribe, leave a thumbs up on YouTube, on Facebook. Leave a like, leave a thumb. And this is also a podcast, so you guys can listen to this afterwards over on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, Castbox, Google Podcasts. I still got to put up the podcast from last night's show.
Oh yeah,
I'll do that later this afternoon. But we got football legends watching us. We got Sean Silas. Hey, dude. We got Free Kick Tony.
Football legends. What's happening?
Jeremy Hefner, SD Design, Steve Anderson, Thrash Metal and Fun Riffs, Jimmy Ka, and Bent Rosum is here. Quentin James, Halface, 802 Blues. Hey, good to see you. Six Strings, and yeah, welcome everybody.
Very nice. Yeah, Hef's just said he said he had a
and
little.
Craig.
Oh,
Craig.
Where's Craig?
Craig's here too.
Oh, nice.
And Clayton Stripes.
You better be working on my guitar.
And Riley Morgan. Welcome.
Craig, you better be working on my guitar. You're sitting there watching TV. It's Sunday. Get your ass going. No, and just to give Craig a shout out, Craig Stofko, one of my best friends for sure. Anybody that's looking to have any finishing work done on their guitars, or striped paint jobs, Kramers, anything like that, professional type jobs. Again, check out Craig. Give him a call. Give him a message. Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, whatever. He's amazing. He's done a bunch of guitars for me over the years, and right now he's redoing my Ernie Ball Music Man body, purple. So just a great guy and does amazing work. So definitely check him out. CHS Guitars.
Cool. Those pictures that you sent me?
Yes.
Is it easier if you just show them?
Yeah.
Are they in a book? Are they in a book?
They came from like 3 different books.
Okay.
I turned my phone off so I don't get any phone calls or anything like that.
Okay.
Blowing up. But I can turn it on if you want to do that, and you want to show them that way. It's up to you.
Well, I gotta get them from my phone to my computer.
That's okay.
It's cool. It's cool. Oh, and Music Therapy Laz is here. Hey, good to see you, man.
Real quick, I was just going to say on Hef, we'll make it quick because we're not talking necessarily about balance sound, but he had a clip going yesterday. He had a comment up here a minute ago. He said reverb. There's no reverb in the balance sound. Not 100% true. There is a little bit of reverb, but the first clip that he sent me, it sounded like it was just drowning in reverb. He had his chorus going pretty well, and he had the kind of a harmonized sound, but the balance sound, it basically for Unlawful OU812, then big time change for Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, and then going into balance. You didn't hear much reverb. There wasn't reverb. It was a delay. It was a different type of a delay. It was 2 separate delays because he was running the wet, dry, wet. So reverb is more like early Van Halen. You hear reverb in like VH1, 2, Women and Children first. You hear a lot of reverb there. But if you're looking for the balance sound, you need delay. Cut that reverb right out.
Yeah, but that reverb, all that reverb that you hear on any of those, on any record, not just Van Halen, any record there is, any recording, the reverb that you hear is always added later.
Right.
It's added when they're mixing the record. So if you listen to the Van Halen guitar sound on the first record, you can use reverb on your guitar, but I guarantee you that reverb was not there when Eddie actually played it. Right. It was added later on.
Yeah. He would always do that. He would record very dry, and then they would add the effects later.
Mm-hmm. That was Ted and Don Landy's idea to put that reverb, to pan his guitar. Let me see. Are we backwards here? Is this the right way? To pan his guitar all the way to one side.
Right.
And to have all that reverb on the other side. They did that to make it a much bigger sound because they're technically they're just a 3-piece.
And Eddie hated that sound. He said in numerous interviews. It's funny because most people love that sound. That's their version of the classic Van Halen tone. But he really hated that sound. AI Gaming says Eddie hated the reverb. He said no. Yeah, it's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah, he was not a big fan of that sound.
Do you know? Well, do you know why he didn't like that? One of the reasons.
Well, I think I know a couple, but what do you think?
In an interview one time, he said that he really didn't like having the guitar on one side like that, because if your speaker blows out in your car and it's that side, there's no guitar.
That makes sense.
You know, but a lot of guys now, they love that because they can just pan over to that one side and they can jam along.
Right.
And it's just bass, drums, and vocal.
It's got some really good benefits to it, no doubt. But yeah. And it's funny if you listen how his sound changed, and I mean, we're going to be talking about the Women and Children First guitars, but if you even listen to the sound that he got on Women and Children First versus
I love that record, man.
I do too. VH2 and then VH1 going backwards, reverse chronological, so to speak. You listen to like Everybody Wants Some when he's hitting those chords, you know.
Yeah.
Or whatever, you know, or in the beginning. You can hear that brownish kind of, you know, it's pretty cool. It really is a different sound. And it changed. And then you get into Fair Warning and it's a little more grungier, a little bit more chorusy. And then Diver Down, and then 1984, which things really changed. Then 5150 was just off.
Like I was saying, though.
What's up, Dave?
Most of those effects. Hey, Dave. Sorry, I missed your phone call earlier, man. I was in the shower and then I was in a call. Most of I would say all the effects that you hear on the guitar were added later.
Right.
Like I don't know if we've ever talked. We probably have. Let me know in the chat, some of you guys, like Craig, if you know anything about this. I would think that the flanger that you hear on like Unchained, I would think that was possibly, you know, turned on and off when they were mixing the record.
I think you're right.
Not on the actual, when he was actually recording.
I think you're right, because if you listen to the isolated guitar tracks, you can hear that. You can almost hear like how it was added in and out. And then you can certainly hear how the solo was added in at a separate time. But you can, it's interesting when you listen to those isolated guitar tracks, you can hear so much more what they were adding in and you know, the stuff that he wasn't necessarily doing live. More than you can if you listen to the actual whole song together.
I know I mean, we're still talking about Van Halen though. The coolest isolated track that you can ever hear from Van Halen, to me, is Michael Anthony's bass track from Jump.
I don't think I've ever heard that, actually.
You know why? Yeah, well, first of all, you don't hear the bass in the actual song. You hear Eddie's left hand on the keyboard playing those parts.
Right.
But Michael did play bass on the song Jump. And if you listen to the isolated track of that, which I have, maybe we'll do a listening party in the Discord. I'll play it for you guys.
Yeah, I'd actually like to hear
You'll hear it. What you can actually hear, you hear them all playing together. You hear keyboard, you hear bass, you hear drums, and you hear David Lee Roth scatting along, singing different words.
That's cool. I'd love to hear that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing I'd love to hear, speaking of bass, would be, oh gosh, I've always wanted to hear what OU812 would sound like with some bass. And I swear Michael Anthony was on sabbatical when they did that album. He wasn't even around when they recorded it. I'm joking, of course. It's just the way that they mixed it. But I mean,
you can actually add, you can bump up the EQ on that. I've actually done that within, you know, my DAW, my DAW on here. Brad Turner. Michael Anthony is a very underrated bass player. That's right, Brad. Michael's great, man. Michael's great. What am I saying? I've actually bumped up the EQ on some tracks on 0812 on my computer here, and it sounds good.
I'd like to try that.
Sounds good.
I definitely would, for sure. I'd really like to try that and figure that out, because that album just needs bass. if you listen to the CD, if you know or whatever, you just listen to the
It's
CD.
it's not just well, it needs bass. It needs bass the whole entire recording needs bass EQ. Not
Right,
just bass instrument. It needs
right,
actually to be bumped up sonically.
right.
That's what I'm saying. Because the whole thing it's a very thin, sound because that was the production of pop records back then.
Right.
Like it or not, 0812 is a pop record,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh yeah. Very much so. Yep.
But it's great. That was my number one Van Halen, you know. To me, we really got to talk about the 80s stuff quick, but we're running out of time.
Now, it won't take too long to actually go through the guitars. I mean, there's
Oh,
only
okay.
but
Okay. All
that was
right.
actually one of my favorite Van Halen tours to watch.
That was my first one.
Yeah, OU812. I just love the sound that Eddie had on. I talk to Chris Hubbard all the time, and he's like, "Oh, I don't like it. I hated, I hated Al's drum sound on that album. He didn't like the drums, Al. Would you?" And I understand that, but from a guitar standpoint, I liked it because we kind of touched on this the last show we did. You know, when Eddie played the song 5150 on the 5150 tour, he tuned it down even more than the album. He was tuned down a whole step live, and on the album he's tuned down a half step. The whole guitar, not just the low E string and drop D, but on OU812 they brought the song right back up to standard, and I just think that just did so much more to that. I just love that. It's my opinion, it's preference, but when you listen to that song 5150 on OU812 in the Right Here Right Now period, when they played it live on the European leg, they didn't play that 5150 in the American leg of the Right Here Right Now, but they did in the European leg, probably because they never made it over there on OU812, so they figured they'd, or 5150. But if you listen to that song played in standard, I just think it gives new life to that. It just sounds so like powerful and upbeat. But anyways,
Cool
tour. That was your first show, you said?
Yep. Yep.
Wow. Was that Candlestick Park?
No, that was Monsters of Rock. I didn't live here at the time. No, it was the Bob Devaney Sports Center in Lincoln, Nebraska.
The who?
I don't know who that is. But
Nebraska. Oh my gosh.
Nebraska. That's where I was. That's where I was. That's where I was. And
they like corn.
Also in the audience was Jeff Hausman from Van Halen News Desk. He was in the audience as well because he lived around there at the time. And yeah, we used to talk all the time back in the day, man.
Oh, by the way, I just placed an order to Jeff the other day. I ordered. Let's talk about geek mode. But you know, when I'm still working, obviously, but I'm not working as much because my full-time job is on hold right now. But I ordered some Van Halen socks. I ordered the 3-pack of handkerchiefs. So when they finally make it where you actually have to wear these masks, see, I can't really wear this one. I mean, I love it.
They're doing that here, man.
Like I said, unless I want to die of paint fumes, you know, because I painted it this morning, I have to do something. So I ordered the the 3-pack of handkerchiefs and the Van Halen socks.
Cool. Steve Barton, you were at the Monsters of Rock Candlestick? Cool, man. Awesome. Okay, 1980 Van Halen guitars. What do we got?
Well, first off, Eddie, this is the third Van Halen tour, obviously, Women and Children First, Invasion Tour. And Eddie was not technically endorsing any guitar companies still at this time. But you got to remember, we kind of hit on this the other night too. You had guitar companies throwing themselves at Eddie back in those days because, I mean, Van Halen was huge. They were like one of the biggest, if not the biggest rock band by 1980. They'd already made VH1, VH2. They put their stamp on the rock scene. They were literally blowing AC/DC and Ozzy and all those bands out of the water. I mean, there's actually interviews where Ozzy says, like, we couldn't even keep up with these guys. They were just huge in 1980, and they continued to get bigger with Fair Warning and all that. But guitar-wise, you had companies. I mean, you had Fender, you had Gibson, you had Charvel, Yamaha. Believe it or not, we'll talk about that blue guitar that Eddie played at least one show in a few minutes. But you had all these different companies that were looking at Eddie and Ed, try this guitar out. And Ed was, he was pretty much willing to try anything. but he was still focused on his main Frankenstrat. So I'll just show the guitars that I have. And Johnny, if you want to, I don't know if you can throw a picture up if you want me to turn my phone on when we do this. But one of the guitars that Eddie,
I just found right
yeah,
there.
we might as well just start with that. Believe it or not, Eddie played a Les Paul in 1980. He was playing a Les Paul a lot for obviously the songs that didn't have any tremolo work. And you can see, I mean, here's my Gibson. Well, it's a Gibson, but it plays great. I love it. It's amazing.
A Fibson.
A Fibson, yeah. Believe it or not, it is a really awesome guitar, and it plays incredible. And it only cost me $300.
Believe it or not, this guitar is fake.
It's fake. It's a fake Gibson, but it's a kick-ass guitar. I love it. I put real Gibson pups in it. I mean, did some work to it, but
what's more real, an air guitar or a fake guitar?
Probably an air guitar, depending on how well you play it. But Eddie was kind of going back and forth with different sounds. So he was playing a Les Paul, and he played one before. But you'll notice he took out the neck pickup somewhere in the beginning of the tour or mid-tour. If you see, there's pictures that, and Johnny has a couple of them because we were going back and forth yesterday. In the studio, he had the neck pickup in there. But live, he took the neck pickup out. And I would imagine one of the reasons might have been if he played running You Really Got Me With It or something like that. If he wasn't playing his Destroyer, he could probably do the toggle switch for the chop sound in the end of the solo. Or he just didn't use it. I mean, he wasn't really into neck pickups in those days. But yeah, he played a Les Paul. He had a couple of them. And that was one of the guitars that he played.
Yeah.
Johnny, a couple more pictures he can show of the Les Paul.
If you look at like let's say this picture right here, you know, if you look at that picture, believe it or not, you can't see it, but the bridge pickup is actually removed. So there's just a neck pickup in the guitar.
Oh, right. Exactly. Okay, yeah, you're right. So in that particular picture, he did the opposite. And that very well could be the same guitar that we're talking about.
You can't see it in that one. Actually, you can't see it in this one either. But
he's got both of them. And these are all within that 1980, 79 era, the pictures that we're showing you anyways. And he was doing all kinds of weird stuff to get the sounds that he wanted. He would you know, do a solo.
Right there.
Yeah.
You can see how the what do you call it? The pickup ring is there, but the pickup's actually gone.
Yeah.
Which is funny. And why is that blue?
What, a Blue Man Group? Yeah.
What?
That's where Blue Man Group got their idea, I guess.
Wow.
But Eddie was definitely using Les Pauls back then, and he was playing them live. I don't know, you know, if he. I'm pretty sure that he played a Les Paul more than he played the next one, which we'll talk about, which is the Destroyer live. I think he was playing the Les Pauls a little bit more. Eddie was not really happy with the sound of the Shark Destroyer. Oh, that's a nice picture. At that point.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a real good one.
Yeah, and from what we think, based on pictures and live audio from 1980, is he used the Les Paul on the song "And the Cradle Will Rock."
Yeah,
that's when he played a Les Paul, and then Michael Anthony played an electric piano, electric synthesizer.
Was a Wurlitzer, right? Wurlitzer electric piano, I think.
It could have been. That's what Eddie used in the studio.
Yeah, we don't know if he used it.
Yeah.
There's pictures of Mike actually playing that. There's a few pictures out there of Mike actually playing that piano well. They did Incredible Rock, and Eddie was playing guitar.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll find one real quick.
While Johnny's doing that, we'll go into the next guitar that Eddie was playing. I mean, and there's a million pictures of these out there, guys. We're just going to show you a couple, A, because we don't have a ton of time, but B, just because, you can find a lot of these pictures on your own. We're just trying to back up what we're saying. Most of you guys know this stuff anyways, because there's so many pictures out there. But Eddie's Ibanez Shark Destroyer. He was definitely still playing this. So this was the third tour that he actually played this on. He played it on the VH1 tour and the VH2 tour, and he was playing it on the Women and Children First tour. And as far as we know, that's the last time he ever played this guitar live on tour. And this is my version of it. This is probably the best one I've ever owned. Actually, I got this from Dave, Mr. Nesdal, our good friend Dave, back about 2 years or so ago, 2.5 years ago. This is a Donnie Ward custom guitar built from a real destroyer. So it's basically the real deal, same wood and everything. And painted by Nick Amendolara, the kid. And I've painted many of these myself over the years, but this one is just incredible. And it's got a DiMarzio Super Distortion in it. It's got the harmonica bridge that I actually put in it, right down to the little, knob indicator, little metal knob indicator thing right here. The bridge pickup, or the neck pickup, excuse me, is not hooked up, so you can do your stutter thing there. On the back, it took me a while, but I actually have the Schaller double tabs. Where are we going here? Got the Schaller double tab tuners. There's 3 gold, 3 chrome, and the gold ones have the big buttons on them. Really cool guitar. The turnbuckles. EVH just put a replica of this out about a year ago. But Eddie was still playing this guitar, and he was playing it for probably You Really Got Me. I think I'm the One. Did he in the studio? He played it for I'm the One. And I think with the solos, he probably went with his Frankie. Didn't I read that right? He played this for I'm the One.
On the record?
On the record, I think.
That I'm not sure. Let us know in the chat. Let us know in the chat room. Man, I can't find a picture of Mike playing that keyboard. I don't know why, because you see him all the time.
We'll find it as soon as we're done with the show.
Yeah, as soon as we're done.
Usually the way
it'll be right there.
But this was definitely one he was playing. Do you have any pictures of Ed with a Shark Destroyer, Johnny, Andy, from the tour?
Let me grab one here real quick.
While you're doing that, Fruitcake Tony says that's definitely the most, or Thrash Metal and Funra said that's definitely the most metal EVH guitar. You're right. This is definitely the most badassest guitar, if that's a word, that I think Eddie ever played. That and the Snake Dragon, that was pretty cool too. 1980, Women and Children First. Oh, just lost it. Hold on. Came. Why was he not using the BB anymore? Using the what? BB.
BB. Bumblebee.
Oh, he was. And we're going to talk about that. He was still using the Bumblebee in Women and Children First, and he used it live. And there's pictures of it. So he was. No, you rock. R2, R3. Taking Steve from Boston's line. No, you rock. But yeah, really cool guitar. The Shark Destroyer. It's fun to play. I don't play this one that much just because there's 40 of them right here. So I never know which one I want to play. But it is a cool guitar. I really enjoy it.
All right. There he is, 1980, right there, playing that.
There it is. Cool guitar. Now there was a couple little differences. Now at the time, my replica is actually set up how Eddie's would be now today. And in the Women and Children First time frame, he had a different. We're really geeking out on this, but this is what you guys want to hear.
A bunch of nerds.
We're just total nerds anyway, so who cares, right? Eddie had different volume knobs on there and a tone knob, even though the tone probably wasn't hooked up. It looks like a I don't know, like a Fender Bassman knob or something like that, something of that nature. And there was a different jack plate on the toggle switch, and he changed that out. And I believe he didn't have the harmonica bridge on there yet. I think it was just a standard Gibson style.
Man. Here, let me pull up some of these pictures that you sent me. I'll show them just from my phone here. There's some good ones, man. Some good ones.
I have my phone on right now. It's going to go ape shit and start blowing up with phone calls.
Oh,
So that's why I was like, probably better.
You can't say you can't say ape.
Oh,
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Okay. Okay. Actually, you sent me that. You sent me that same picture. That one there. Actually, here, I'll just do this. I'll just do this.
ST designer Rob was like Jay Leno.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's the one that we use that for the thumbnail. That's a really cool picture, man. I'd never seen that one.
that came out of that Japanese 79 era book. But unfortunately, that's like the only picture of the 1980 tour in there. It focuses on 78 and 79.
Man, yeah, because I was. Oh, look at Ned.
Look at Ned.
Oh.
Oh, taking a bath.
Oh, look. Oh man,
A good cat.
He's awesome, man. Let's see. Okay, here's another one that you sent, and this is a really good one.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite ones. Outside show.
Yeah.
And there's that neck pickup gone.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of pictures from that show. Actually, there's also one of that show where Eddie's playing the Frankie. There's a couple of different ones from that. That's cool. They got some.
Yeah. Oh, and there's this one.
That was this morning, right after I got done striping that.
That was the. I wake up in the morning and I turn on my phone and that's what I see.
That's right after I got done painting. And you talk about paint fumes then. Oh my gosh, I wished I had the virus.
Oh,
that was horrible.
Steve Barton says that was Day on the Green in Oakland.
Oh, okay, cool. Very neat.
Okay, awesome, man.
Very, very cool.
Awesome. How we doing on time? All right.
We got 20 minutes. We got
okay.
to hit the rest.
You got 12 more guitars you got to talk about.
8. No,
we can actually go over. We can go over a little time. Actually, I already did a private call with the guys I'm going to be on with after this.
Yeah, it won't take too long.
But yeah, we can go a little over. We can go a little over. It's fine.
Ben says, Rob, are you still doing your regular work now or out on patrol? Stay safe, brother. Thank you, sir. I'm still doing my police job. We're just, obviously not quite as busy because there's not as many people out. But pretty much we're just trying to, like yesterday when I did work yesterday and I found this, it's strange. I had a big group of people, like 30 people having a big party. And I'm like, guys.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm going to be nice, but there's a lot of foolish people out there, really, and it makes my head spin sometimes. It's like, I know everybody wants to live their lives still, and you have to still live your life, but you still got to be smart. So a lot of the stuff we're doing right now is kind of managing that. But I mean, they all left and they went back home. But it's kind of like, guys, really. But I'm doing that, and I'm still teaching a couple of classes. Some of my personal fitness classes I'm actually doing online now. And
that's cool.
So that's working out good. And but my full-time gig is technically on hold. But that should be starting up in the next month or so. But I'm definitely still staying busy. Yes.
Nice. Yeah, man.
And thank you for all the compliments. I appreciate everybody. Everybody's positive compliments or not positive comments, I should say, on for
positive compliments. What's the opposite of a positive compliment?
Negative compliments.
Thank you for all the negative compliments, you guys. It's like you really. It's like, oh man, you're. It's the way you say it. It's like, man, you're really. What would I say? It's like, man, you're really not that good looking. But it's the way you say it.
Hey, are you losing weight? No. Oh, I didn't think so.
Man, you're really gaining weight. That's really nice.
There you go. 802 Blue says the cops in my town haven't been responding, and if they do, they aren't arresting anyone. It's crazy. Yeah, it's kind of like they pretty much told us just to pick your battles, basically. But still, we still need to be doing our jobs. We still need to be doing our jobs because, in my opinion, if you go out and you just say, hey, just let everybody do whatever they're going to do, that just creates an opportunity for a lot of people to not do what they're supposed to do. Which,
Yeah.
Most police officers should still be doing their job and need to be doing their job. I do. And we just need to be a little bit more discreet on how you handle it and how you deal with people. Like I said, I still deal with people every day. I'm just a little bit more careful, and hopefully don't have to do too much hands-on stuff. Hopefully, but that's. And the last thing I'll say on that, to be quite honest, that is actually one of the reasons why I exercise and train so much and try to stay healthy. So, because I have an obligation to do these things, and that's the job that I chose. So if I do get something like that, I want to be able to handle it and still be able to do what I need to do. Not obviously, would be able to work if I had it of it, but I want to be able to pass it as fast as possible. And I really believe that if you have a strong immune system and you're in good shape physically and mentally, you'll probably be able to deal with it pretty easily. Otherwise, or not even know you have it.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying. And some of us think we actually already had it, in January after NAMM, because me and Mancuda, we felt really bad. I felt, for a month, I was like, I felt sick, but not really.
Yeah.
Like there was something wrong. Although I don't know. Anyway, I'll be right back. Talk about that guitar.
Okay. The just last comment on that was I think I might have had it about 2-3 weeks ago, because I was just down and out for like maybe 2-3 days. I was still doing stuff, but I just, running was really challenging. I was having a harder time breathing, headache, a little kind of hot. And I just kind of hung in, stayed inside for a few days, didn't really do too much. I still, I was okay. I wasn't like, really bad, but I think there's a chance I might have had it. I don't know. But I'm really hoping that if I did or I do, I'm going to be able to get past it really quick. And a lot of it, I think, has to do with how you take care of yourself. But anyways, back on to, and by the way, thank you for the compliment, Ben. Ben, I appreciate that. But basically what we do is what every officer should be doing. That our job is to take care of people. And, everybody, the funny thing is I probably pull over about 600-700 cars a year on my normal job. And I probably only write about 4 tickets. I give a lot of warnings because I like to give people a second chance. I try to be a decent guy.
Are they fair warnings?
Fair warnings, yeah. I typically, like I said, that's just how I am. And if somebody gives me an attitude, okay, well, you just wrote your own ticket. I didn't even have to do it. So, I try to treat people with respect, because that's how I like to be treated. Believe me, I can crank it up just like that if I have to. And I have no problem doing that when I need to, but I like to treat people with respect, and I always like to give people the chances. Fair warning.
Okay. Yeah. All right, let's talk about guitars. Quick. We're running out of time. Quick.
The Bumblebee guitar, which Eddie was playing in the Women and Children First Tour. The Pink Pop Festival, right, Johnny? There's video of him playing Pink Pop.
He played that live, yeah.
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 So, and this was about the configuration of the guitar at that time. He had had like a prototype Floyd Rose, which is basically what this is. He had it was a cream pickup, might have been a DiMarzio Super Distortion. And he had this type of a neck on it. And it did have shallower double tabs on the back. And so he was still playing the Bumblebee, and he was still tweaking it, trying to get the sounds that he wanted out of it. And we do have some pictures of him playing it. And there's 1, 2.
Right there.
Now, we didn't play it all the time.
Look at that guy. Look at those shoes.
Are those what do you call leg warmers? Those girls used to wear back in the 80s.
Look at this one. You ever seen that one? That one's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Playing the LP there.
I don't know anybody else that could ever pull off that jumpsuit. I mean, he's even got to look back. I mean, Roth, as weird as the dude is, he's even got to look back and be like, ooh, damn, that's it. But
Look at that.
whatever.
Nah, he's David Lee Roth, man. He
Well,
can
nice leg warmers.
you can wear that.
That that is pretty cool.
Here's a cool one. Backstage, Roth.
Oh yeah,
right there. Yeah. So anyway, so the Bumblebee, he played that one
the
live.
Bumblebee, he did. And let's talk about another one. Basically, we got 3 more guitars to talk about real quick. Here is another one that he played, which is the Charvel Star. Now, here is my version. Now, mine is early 1980 era. Okay, it's before he painted it, or striped it, I should say. And this is a Chris Lock custom body and neck. It's not an EVH. It's a Chris Lock custom body, Chris Lock custom neck, and I love it. It's a great guitar. And it's made right after a real Charvel Star, basically. Now, Eddie had a little hole here because he had a rod that was sticking out. And what that rod would do is it would stop the bar from swinging around in circles when he was jumping around. And then he ended up taking it off. And the only difference between mine is I have a 1984 original Floyd Rose with the fine tuners on this, where Eddie's only had an original prototype style that didn't have the fine tuners yet, version 1. But I wanted this to be a player, so that's pretty much the only thing that I did a little bit different. Now, 1980, Eddie, 79, there's actually video of Eddie playing this guitar in the 1979 tour, the VH2 tour. And at the time, he painted it white, and he had a Strat style Charvel neck on it. This is a Dan Electro neck that he put on this guitar. This was not the original neck that came on this guitar. There's pictures out there of Eddie playing this guitar in a white configuration, just like this, in 79 with the original Charvel Strat style neck. Sometime at the end of that tour, going into 1980, he fell in love with this Dan Electro neck, and he put it on the Star guitar. And then he left the guitar white for a while. And I don't know if it was just before the tour or sometime in the first leg of that tour that he actually painted it and striped it with the pirate style, treasure map looking cross and bones type things that we see on there now. And I've had both versions of this guitar over the years. I just kind of thought it was always kind of cool in the white version. For some reason, I just kind of liked it like this. Because I got so many other striped guitars. It was just kind of nice to, have something like this. So this is kind of how I've kept my version of this. I've never seen a picture of Ed playing this guitar in the 80 Invasion tour white. There's a picture of him with the pickaxe with all the guitars spread out. And that picture was taken in 1980 and the guitar was white, but I think it was just before the tour. So my guess would be he striped it up sometime prior to actually going out live. And it was definitely a guitar that he played a lot of throughout that tour. And
Right.
John probably has a couple of pictures of that, but it's a great guitar, a lot of fun. The only thing I don't like about these Stars is it's very hard to play up high on the neck for me because your hand hits that horn. But and the story behind this guitar is Charvel actually built these. Charvel actually made this body shape after the Shark Destroyer. Eddie wanted something similar to that, so they came out with the Charvel Star. And there's actually a picture of Eddie with one of these guitars outside a Guitar Center. It's pink. You know that picture I'm talking about, Johnny?
I don't know. I'm not sure, but yeah, there it is right there.
Yep.
April 80, young guitar.
Yep. So that must have been just before the tour started. And you can see if you really zoom in, you see that black knob where the bar is resting on. That's what that hole was for right there. It was to keep the bar swinging around. Now he had a a cream pickup in there. That's actually a Schaller pickup. It's one of those Schaller rail style pickups. Dave Nesdahl would have the exact name of that pickup, but he switched it out, and then he had the black one in there. Then he striped it and kind of went back and forth. Then he put a cream one back in again. It's kind of all over the place with the pickups. And you'll see the Mighty Mite guitar there, the Megazone. You'll see the Snake Dragon. As far as we know, in some other guitars, Eddie did not play those two guitars live in the 80 Invasion tour. As far as we know.
Right. Steve is it Raider?
Raider.
He says, sorry, did you say Locke built the body as well?
Yes. The Locke body, or my copy is a Locke body and neck, yes.
Football Legends says the Charvel Strat neck broke, and he replaced it with the Dan Electro neck off the Strat he used on the Bottoms Up and Women in Love intros. Oh, okay.
And Football Legends basically confirmed what my thought was, and thank you. He never used it white on an 80 Invasion tour. Cool, good to know. I didn't think he did because I didn't have any pictures, but I never had any proof of that. Sounds like you know a little bit about that, so very cool. Kind of puts that to bed for me. So now we'll get into the main guitar and Eddie's favorite guitar, and I saved this one for last. Well, Johnny's going to show that Yamaha blue guitar, a picture of that real quick before we end. That'll be the last thing we'll talk about. But the Frankenstrat, and mine is an updated today model, and this is I think it's a Locke body and custom Musicraft. Oh, I'm sorry, it's a Musicraft body and a Musicraft neck. And I've painted a million of these again over the years, and this one was redone last year by Nick right after he saw pictures of the real one, so it's about as accurate as you can possibly get. He definitely knocked it out of the park, Nick did, on mine. Everything is almost identical. It's got the right tuners, crown head, Schaller D-style or Schaller drop tabs. What do you want to call them? Or maybe they're Godos. No, they're Godos, I'm sorry. They're Godo tuners, crown heads with the drop tabs. Hard to find. Thank you to Mark Blankenship for those. So we'll go back to 1980. The guitar was red. It had a prototype Floyd Rose on it, not like this, no fine tuners. The quarter, I believe, might have been upside down. I know it wasn't the Fair Warning tour, but he might have had it upside down or had a different quarter on at that time. And here's some really cool geeky information. This pick guard, he had changed it. In 79, he didn't have anything there. He had a little jack plate with a bunch of electrical tape holding the knob in.
Here, I just found a great picture of what you're talking about.
Okay. And then in 1980, before he came out with this and decided to cut a regular pick guard down, you guys know what he actually had on that? Because it always looks different. It was a vinyl record. It's a piece of vinyl record. There we go. Exactly. Look at that.
Look at Mike's face back. Look at Michael Anthony's face back there.
Looks like he wants to eat the thing. Looks like a cartoon character. So that is a piece of a record. Don't know if
thumbnail.
Isn't that cool? Pretty neat.
Look at that.
Did get that confirmed.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at the size of that pick guard, man.
Yeah. Piece of a vinyl record.
I don't even see the quarter on the guitar.
Yeah, I might not have had it on there yet because that actually might, I don't even know, that might be a regular Strat. Not a regular Strat bridge. I think that might be, it's either a Strat style bridge or it's one of the first versions of Floyd.
Oh, that's before he had the Floyd on the guitar. Okay.
Yeah. Could be like maybe like a Charvel V-Trem or something like that. It's not, I don't think it's a V-Trem, but that's the pick guard he had on it. And notice like I said, the pickup is white, it's cream. And yeah, that was still his favorite guitar. Just before the tour, he had a white pick guard on that guitar, a complete white pick guard. Then he ripped it off again
Look at the strap.
Yeah. Oh, that's a different one.
Look at the guitar strap.
That looks like a black strap with like gray duct tape.
Yeah, you have to make that one now, man.
Like that one, yeah. No, I never saw that.
Yeah, look at that.
I always want to know where he got those satin pants from.
Look at Michael Anthony.
That's the second time Johnny said. Now the neck on that right now, is that the original? Is that the original Frankie neck with a bigger oversized headstock? I can't tell. He changed the neck on that guitar so many times.
Yeah, you can't see it. You can't see it. Can't see it in that picture. If I can find another picture of it.
Didn't Eddie use a Fender Strat for Women in Love? He very well might have. He's used so many guitars over the years. I'd have to look at one of my books to see. He very well could have. Very well could have.
Here's another picture. This actually might be from the Pink Pop.
Pink Pop
Festival.
Wait,
Pink Pop.
What popped and it was pink?
Is it Pink Pop? The pop is pink, man.
I was gonna get a little. Never mind. Forget it. Now
there's another picture.
That looks like the B neck, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, the headstock. Yeah.
Yep. Now that could be one of the first Floyds. There's an interview that I have of Ed with Steve Rosen from 1980. There's actually two Steve Rosen interviews. One's 79 and one's or 78 or 79. There's another one that's 1980.
Yeah.
And Ed is actually talking about putting the Floyd Rose on the Frankenstein.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not really. He said it makes it sound real tinny, and he wasn't really. He was experimenting with the Floyds, and he started using them, but he wasn't really sold on the sound. And he says in that interview, he says, "I still prefer a Strat style Fender bridge." That's what he said. He said it sounds better for recording, anyways. But obviously, with all the bar stuff that he was doing, he needed.
He was. He had said that it's the guitar had a different tone with the locking and tremolo on it. Like it was too bright, too brittle sounding or something.
Yep, that's what he said. Like tinny, brittle, bright. Yeah. So basically, if you think about it, end of 79, going into 80, Floyd Rose was coming around, and Ed was experimenting with the Floyds. So between that time frame and 1982, the end of 82, Ed was still kind of crash testing the Floyd Roses and the Rockingers, and ultimately ended up going with the Floyd Rose. Mm-hmm. And there's a cool picture right there. Yeah. Backstage, 1980, one of the shows, you can see four of the guitars we just talked about: the Frankie, the Star in the case, which was painted, the Les Paul before he pulled the neck pickup out, and the Bumblebee.
Yeah, that's a cool picture.
It almost looks like he's got the nut on, but there's no clamps. There's actually pictures of him with that guitar using the Floyd Rose nut, but it's not clamped at all. Now that looks like that is one of the first version Floyds, I think, unless my eyes deceive me.
Mm-hmm.
And the neck
it looks like it, yeah.
Frankie, check that out. That's the neck that is now on the Snake Dragon, the black headstock, the original Bumblebee neck.
Huh. And that's on the bottom of that headstock. That's gaffer's tape.
Yeah,
because he would stick his picks up on the headstock.
Yep.
For like a split second, he had guitar picks up there, kind of like Steve Vai does.
Yeah, and he stopped. Yeah, right. He only did that very short, and then he stopped doing it. But yeah, that's a cool neck. That's a really neat neck. I always like that.
That's awesome.
So the Frankenstrat, again, his main guitar, it's the guitar that just stuck with him all those years, which kind of brings us back to what we said when we first started. We got to wrap this up. He was trying so many different guitars, or so many different companies were throwing themselves at him. Ed, try this, try this, try this. But it was this guitar that was still his main baby, and he got the best sound out of this in the studio and live. And there was nothing that was ever going to change that. This was the guitar that defined Edward Van Halen, was this Frankenstrat. But to kind of go back to what I just said a second ago, one of the companies we believe that was trying to get Ed's attention was, believe it or not, Yamaha. And there was a guitar called the Yamaha, was it SE3000, which you can still get out there. And there's a picture of Ed actually playing that guitar. It was painted blue, baby blue, and it had red electrical tape all over it. Really, really cool guitar. And he played that for like 5 minutes. And that was all we ever saw of it.
Yeah. And there's a few different pictures of that. I'll show one of them here. I'll show a couple of them here. We actually did a video on that guitar, specifically on that guitar, like 3 years ago or something. So right above Rob, there'll be a drop down. The video will be right there.
Yeah.
And you guys will be able to watch it on playback.
It's a cool guitar. Chris Hubbard already built one. He built one like the day after the picture came out.
Yeah, I'll show you guys the picture of Hubbard's. This is what it looked like, and then again, watch the video for the pictures of Eddie playing it. I'll post that.
And it's a baby blue paint job and red electrical tape. That's what it was. So it must have been something he striped up real quick before the show that he actually played it on. And as far as we know, he only played that like one show, maybe 2, 3. We don't know, but there's only pictures from one show of him playing.
There's a total of 1, maybe 4 pictures of him playing that.
Yep.
Which actually I found another one on my computer. That I'd forgotten about, but it's not included in the video that we did. It's a picture of him where you can see the back of the neck, where he's like tilted this way.
Yeah,
and you can see the stripes up and down the neck.
So that could have been something somebody came backstage before a show and said, "Hey Ed, try this guitar out." You know, maybe a Yamaha rep, and Ed's like, "All right, I'll give it a shot." You know, "Hey Rudy, paint this thing up. Do this," or Ed just decided, you know, whatever, and painted
tape it up.
Yeah.
Could've,
now
yeah.
That guitar is basically another example of what we were talking about the last show that we did, or 2 shows ago, whatever, Johnny and I, when Nick Horton sent me that picture of that white Kramer Pacer style body with the tone knob, one pickup, and the input plug right on the top. Straight plug. That was a white guitar with black stripes, or it was a black guitar and Eddie put tape all over it and painted it white. It was a Kramer. So again, that's another example of one of those really, really rare guitars that he maybe played for like 5 minutes. And it would be interesting to know, back to that blue Yamaha, if that is a guitar that you would ever find up at 5150 in the upstairs attic. Who knows? I would not be a bit surprised if that guitar is still in Eddie's collection somewhere. I wouldn't doubt
Could be.
You never know. But definitely a cool guitar. I am going to be building one of those this summer. I'm doing another one. I'm actually keeping my eyes out. There's actually one of those guitars actually on eBay. I don't have.
Well, if you're looking to get it, don't say anything.
Well, they're out there before.
Somebody's gonna grab it.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I'd like one of those guitars, but not painted. I would like one just stock. I would actually like one.
I played Hubbard's, and it's actually a pretty decent playing guitar. It's actually not bad. It's kind of cool. Really neat guitar. So basically, guys, to wrap everything up guitar-wise, we got a Les Paul. We have a Ibanez Shark Destroyer. We have a Bumblebee guitar, Charvel. We have the Star guitar, which was painted, like we said, in that pirate kind of treasure map-ish kind of skull and crossbones type motif. Totally an interesting paint job. As a matter of fact, there's a Guitar World from back in 2015 where Eddie actually has that the EVH version of that guitar on the front cover, and he talks about it. And it was sometime after he did the 2000 or sometime after the Smithsonian interview he did, and he says, "Boy, I bet they had a hell of a time, copying that motif. And EVH did a pretty decent job. They didn't 100% nail the paint job, but they did pretty well.
Mhm.
Definitely
Well,
a cool guitar.
the Stripe Series guitars, the EVH Stripe Series, they're all tributes
Right,
to Eddie Van Halen. They're not supposed to be exact.
right, right.
You
And a lot
know,
of
if
people don't
if they're
like
exact,
that.
if they're exact, you know, it'll be the replica ones,
Right.
like the ones that Sean Silas. Sean, I saw your comment, man. That was awesome, dude. He said he held the real one,
The
the
real.
real Frankie.
Oh, really?
He
Wow.
said it had a what do you call it? It had a smell to it.
The real Frankie, like this one, Frankie?
The real one.
Sean, a question for you. Was it a overly heavy guitar, the real one? Everybody seems to think that the real one is very heavy, and I've always subscribed to that thought process too, being that we thought it was like a Northern Ash. What was your thought on that? But yeah, the Star guitar, and it looks like there's a real one over there. It's one of the real ones. Oh no, that's a Kramer Voyager. Sorry,
That's a Voyager. Here's kind of a right here. That's kind of
that's a cool pick. Yes.
what do you call it? Shows you the two.
Yep.
Yeah, the one on the left there.
Right.
You know, before and after being painted.
Right. Very cool guitar, and he loved that Dan Electro neck. He did. And then
I love those necks.
Yeah,
I love those necks too. They're great.
they are. And I'll tell you, Chris Locke did a great job on that one that he built me. He did an amazing job. It feels incredible. There's a cool picture of Eddie backstage with it, the original one. And as far as we know, Eddie still owns that guitar. I don't know about the Dan Electro neck. I've heard that that original neck has been broken. It's been gone, but the body he still has. And I got a chance to see Eddie playing that guitar, not the real one, obviously, the original, but the Stripe Series when he played for All Weight.
Yeah.
15 tour. I got to see that. Was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. I think the last known picture that I've seen that I know of is the one of him wearing the guitar. Well, you can't see us.
Oh,
yeah.
1984.
There we are. There we are. Of him, he's wearing the body and he's acting like he's tapping.
Yeah. I don't think there was even a pickup in it then, was there? Pickup had been ripped out, I think.
Let me find that picture really quickly, and then we gotta wrap it up because I've got another show I gotta do.
And last but not least, like we said, the Frankenstrat. Those were the main guitars, other than like that blue Yamaha we talked about, like the one-offs here and there. And I wouldn't doubt there was other ones that people were having them try out, but those were the 5 guitars. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, those are the 5 main guitars that we saw that he played the 1980 Invasion tour, and those were kind of the evolution of how they went. And the Frankenstrat, like we said, was just was pretty much that was his main guitar. And if you go into, I did my own show on Fair Warning. So if you guys want to check out the next installment of what we're talking about today, about a year and a half ago, if you go on my channel, you sift back, you'll see a show that I did on the guitars of Fair Warning. I don't know why I didn't go chronological, but I just kind of pretty much went off what people were asking for. You'll see Eddie, again, the Frankenstrat was still the main guitar. And then he was into the, the Rude guitar and the Circles guitar, which eventually became the Rasta. He played that Cat guitar that we were talking about the other day. The good like I said, Nesdal. Dave, if you're still watching, that Cat guitar, the guy that came out with, I thought his name was John something. He's actually a friend of Dave Nesdal and lives in the Long Island area. And his name of his band was the good
John. Is it Gatto?
Might have been John Gatto.
John Gatto. The good. Is it the good?
The good boys or the good rats. The good rats.
The good rats.
The good rats. Dave, don't answer. We already know the answer now. I'm kidding. No, yeah. Dave actually knows that guy that gave Eddie that Cat guitar that he was playing in Fair Warning. But yeah, it's the Good Rats and John.
There's actually an interview with him.
Yeah.
There's the interview with him talking about giving Eddie that guitar.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I'll post that. You guys got to remind me of all this stuff. I'll put it in the Discord.
Oh, Johnny, you got to send me that screenshot picture you took of Eddie in that upstairs attic way from Balance area with the Music Man. Remember you showed that the other night?
It's just from a video. It's from a video.
Screenshot though, I know. I'm just too lazy to go find it myself.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So, okay. All right. I got to go.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. That's the guitars of Women and Children First. And hope you liked it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Rob Johnson. Rob, if you want to do another one of these.
Yeah, I'm pretty much free. Let's see.
Call me at 4 a.m.
Johnny actually is the one that called me this morning. I was like, "What?" Yeah, the Good Rats. Dave said it. John Gatto. Yeah, good friend of Dave Nesdall's actually in the Long Island area. But Johnny called me this morning. It was like, I don't know, it had to be like 8 o'clock his time. Like, whoa, he's up early. But yeah.
Okay, I'm here. All right. I gotta go.
Yeah, let's do another show maybe tomorrow or so, or
okay,
Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm pretty much free in and out this week. I got a couple of shifts, but we'll talk. We'll do another one.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm doing another show in about 45 minutes. With Stefan and Frank from the Frank Barter Band. They're a local band from Santa Cruz here. Very funny, cool dudes. So come back here in 45 minutes. Actually, the video is already created, so you'll see it on YouTube and Facebook. So come back. All right, we'll see you guys. See you guys in a few.
See you, Rob. Guys, talk to you soon.